Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use Gallery Blooms. It has both stamps and dies, of course, it's a bundle. This one has several different flowers that are pretty realistic. Little tiny flower, or maybe the flower is not so tiny so much as the image is tiny. But you can see it has a lot of choices for that. And then it also has this as part of the suite, Beautiful Motifs. So this echoes some of the designs in the paper as well as in the embossing folder. So the embossing folder has really pretty, hold on just a second. You can see here I stamped it on there, but I didn't care for what I had done. So I just wanted to show you that's the embossing folder. It has a kind of, looks like it comes up and has a carnation at the top. So you can see there that kind of echoes that. Now, I don't use much in the way of little squiggles myself, but for some people it might be very helpful. I do find these sentiments to be nice. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime is a perfect wedding card, of course. Just a note, hello, thinking of you, celebrate, you've been on my mind, I'm here for you always, and thank you for everything. So some pretty decent sentiments, and you can put celebrate and then maybe put a happy birthday inside as well. So this is one of the really beautiful ones. It has flowers in a pot. Let's see here. And I've shown you this once, I'm sure, on the unboxing. So I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights. This one is a gorgeous landscape. So it's as if it's something that would be framed in a gallery. And then this back side is something that you can paint. So you could use your Wink of Stella re-inker, or so my plan for this one that I'm going to do, I'm going to use the cloud cover, and I'm going to use re-inker, and I'm going to use also the soft sea foam. Small portions, I think it could be really pretty. Might be a nice one to cut up and make into like a quilt look. That could be very pretty. Backside is, you know, some of that mess that they just kind of general texture look. Then this one is maybe not my favorite, but it's definitely close to my favorite, where it's like a scientific journal. I think this would make a beautiful backdrop for some photographs or from some garden plans that you've done in a scrapbook page, especially a large scrapbook page. This is 6x6 paper. So I just think this looks so pretty. And it's Rosa Multiflora, kind of like Italian countryside maybe. It has a little, well, maybe not. That looks like a steamboat in the background here. So maybe it's supposed to be the Mississippi River, but it's really pretty. Kind of in an Italianate style though, so maybe that's why. I think that, oh yeah, this is one. The backside is useful, but wow, is that bleak. So we all have our favorite things, so maybe I shouldn't say bleak. Maybe you will really enjoy that one. Then we have this. Hold on just a second. One thing about this paper too, it's supposed to match, and I think it does, with our basic beige rather than the very vanilla. So this is a piece of basic beige cardstock. So I mean, you can see that this right here would look nice with the basic beige probably. And then this back side is a gorgeous replication of the embossing folder and cloud cover. So I think that is a really pretty one. Just a couple more that I want you to see here. Kind of the best ones I'll show you here. I think this one is nice. You know, assuming you like a seaside look. And it's funny because there's definitely a sailboat. There's some that probably aren't sailboats. And then there's this, if I can grab a hold of it, this gorgeous gray and white. I think that is so pretty. And I think it may actually be cloud cover, because if you see where I put it with this, it looks like it's cloud cover, and it's just so silver and pretty. So I think that one is probably my favorite. It's probably safe to go ahead and say that. But there are some other really gorgeous ones in here. There's a little house, which is kind of interesting. And so I think that this will be a pretty useful batch of paper. So now what I wanted to do was show you the paper, since I just touched on that. I saw this on the Stampin' Addicts Facebook page, which is almost defunct, but isn't quite. And I just really liked the idea for using with this paper, because there's a lot of this paper that carries over. And so what Lavon Schwendeman, who posted it, had done was she had a piece here. Let me find the other one. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be so mad if I've lost that piece. Oh, there it is. Okay. So she had a piece here and a piece here. Now, she had this, like where it met exactly here, but mine isn't going to quite do that. But you can see, and then when you stand it up, it's like this. So super cute. So let me go ahead and put this together for you, and you can see if you agree with me or not. I won't be offended if you don't. And of course, this would be super pretty using the back side, using the other side on this one. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. See if I can. Actually, I have my glasses right here on the screen. I should have had them on my face. Old tape. Well, I'll just use the this won't hold it normally, but I will use it right now because it will make it easier to stick down. And is that not weird? I had a little flaw in there. I haven't had that in years, but the paper had a little blemish, but luckily, since I'm doing this, it will cover it right up. And then you can put another piece on the back, just so, you know, a layer, or you can just write on this, because this is our basic beige and that's an easy thing to write on. And so there you can see the card just stands up on its own. I think I've got it. Yeah, there we go. You can see that the card just stands up, and then you can see here that this blends into here. I didn't put one here because this is how the card will close. So I'm just kind of leaving that blank because it's not part of the main point of this. Then I was thinking we could put, and I might stamp this on basic beige also, but put our floral piece up here and then add a sentiment down here, or do it like this. Now these are just the textured rectangles. I have trouble with this every time. Almost as much trouble as I have with Serene Sea. And I want to call it Secret Sea. I want to call it Serene Sea. So there you can kind of see that. And if this were colored in with some nice green and then possibly peach at the top, our peach pie, that would make a cute little centerpiece, and then the sentiment stamped over here. So we'll see how I finish that one. All right, now we have this one, which I've already stamped just to save a little bit of time. And what I wanted to show you here was using some dimensionals just to lift that up. I just stamped this. This was actually my first stamping, but it'll be fine. Usually the first time that you go to stamp, I find it doesn't do as great of a job on making a gorgeous image as it will later in the process and later the times that you use it. But for this, I thought that was actually kind of a positive, because it just kind of gives it more texture. So this is the die, and it cuts these 3 pieces to make a gallery image. Now, you can see on this one, this is for some other country in the shape of their cards. This would be great on a scrapbook page or something, or you could do it this way and then have a border at the bottom or something, and that could be cute as well. But for my purposes here and what I was trying to do, my plan was to use the smaller one that fits on here. Oh, and I have that upside down. I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm going to put here in the 4 corners, of course. And then I think I'm fine on this narrow edge, but I'm going to put this on the longer edge. just to kind of hold it up. Then I'm going to stick this down in the center, or sometimes it looks good, let's talk about that, to have it raised up higher, and then other times it looks good to have it, you know, directly in the center. So if you're planning to put the sentiment down here, you might want to raise it higher, but I'm going to use the very center for this one as best I can anyway, just to kind of give the focus to the frame image. So that's somewhat close. We'll see. Okay, let's toss that. And then kind of pop that on there. What you're kind of going for is having the same amount of paper showing on each side, because then that way you'll see that it's raised up. You could also instead lift it double, put double dimensionals under there. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Actually, I'm going to put one because I don't know where my tiny ones are. So that'll be perfect. And then I kind of got in the habit of doing this, of cutting this piece when I was doing the, you know, have a lovely day pieces and the earlier floral paper. But I think it looks great with this one as well, because the frame here is not ornate or anything. It's just a frame. So I kind of think that the straight look with this looks nice, and in contrast to the little floral piece. Now, of course, I would finish this up with some white or other color little embellishments. You could put these cloud cover ones on there for a very subtle look. I haven't done that recently, but I do think it's something to remember, is that, you know, just adding these on the actual color that they are gives it a little bit of texture, which is nice. So let me get out my cloud cover. We're using this Stampin' Spot because it reacts kind of strangely with the foam pads and does not react strangely. It turns it gray. Does not react strangely with the, whoops, made a little mess, old linen style. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that. I just don't think that's going to do it for me. I kind of have a lot of ink on here because I was inking it up, and I think I got a little bit carried away. All right, so I'm going to put the Thinking of You on here. Trying to decide if I have it in the center. I probably don't, but we'll pretend, and I can, oh, I didn't get it straight. That's kind of crazy. Okay, but anyway, there you can see how I might finish that off. And then I would also enjoy putting some of our cloud cover ribbon. One thing that I think is the main exciting thing about in colors, I mean, lately anyway, maybe they aren't your favorite colors, but by golly, there is beautiful ribbon to match. And that is very important to me, that we have beautiful, I like beautiful ribbon on my cards. So just something to think about, you know, if you're considering whether to do the in colors or not. I do love matching ribbon, and that definitely is a plus on here. Might should have done this the opposite way, but we'll see if I can get it turned around. Too funny. Another thing, I'm doing a promotion for the next little bit till I run out of these, that for my local customers and even for my online customers, I will ship it to you, an inked little spot, because to me, you kind of need this, and this is a beautiful color. So it's a cloud cover, and I'll put a little sticker on the bottom so that you can remember what color it is, but I just think we kind of need the color there. So let me slide that down just a bit. So there you can see, it's just kind of I was trying to be different, and I definitely succeeded, but I find that sometimes when I try to use a different style than my style, doesn't always turn out. But anyway, I think it's fun and just like a soft, pretty card. So let's move along. I would say this one is definitely my style. So it has this main image. I inked it with the whole thing in pink, and then I put over the top, I cleaned it off with don't know if you guys ever do this, but I cleaned off with a Q-tip where I got pink on there because I couldn't keep it off. And then added with a marker, with a Stampin' Right marker, the Granny Apple Green to highlight it. And then, but for my background, I didn't want it to be bright and garish. I wanted it to be soft and pretty. So I used the soft seafoam. Now, what I wanted to show you here is how nicely this frames this. But I'm not going to use this on my card. I could, and then just bump it over to the edge and cut it off. But I'm not going to do that with this. Just going to use this center piece here and then add my little celebrate in pink. So let me get my pretty in pink. I might use the smaller white one, but it's going to be a little bit small on there. I don't think I have this celebrate on there straight either. They must be kind of, well, it is warm, so that I'm probably not used to them kind of stretching as, you know, on a warm day. Okay, so there's, oh, I didn't fix that when I did it. There's my little celebrate. So I think that is cute, tucked under there, super cute after it's die cut. And then I would go ahead, these are the iridescent pearls. They are 24 through 26 in color flat pearls. They are iridescent, they are super shiny. So I would probably put one on here. Let's go ahead and do that. See these pretty colors. I could have used some of those as well. And just pop these little pink guys on here like that. But I think this is a nice, simple card. You know, just coloring it with some Wink of Stella to add a little shine. Really puts this together nicely. You could also go ahead and make a little bow. You could add a little white ribbon bow. If you have last year's ribbons, you could use a pink ribbon, and that would be cute. But it might be getting a little bit too much pink on it right now, so maybe the smaller white bow would add nicely. That cut there. Maybe put that down there or up here, or maybe just randomly on the card. So there you can see that one. And now I'm just going to show you a couple of things just on some other papers. I probably should have done this before I moved on, but it was just easiest. This paper, I think, is one of the very prettier ones, and it would be great with just a sentiment. I think you'll agree, because it's so beautiful. I would probably, at first I was looking at it and thinking, oh, I would use a white sentiment, but the white is too bright. So possibly using the basic beige would be a good idea, and give it a little bit of contrast. I also wanted to show you here where I did use the white with the embossing folder. I think that looks really nice too. I just think that using the matching mossy meadow background is so striking with this particular one. Now, I did want to talk about using some of these other ones. They make a great edge piece on here. And actually, probably this one would probably look better here with a little bit of contrast. And then pop that on there, maybe put another sentiment on there. But I think that this Gallery Blooms is a really gorgeous set. As stamped with white craft ink, and then I embossed with clear ink. It would have been brighter and probably nicer had I used the white embossing powder. Let me show you that real quick. See the shine there. But I used clear because I was trying to go for subtle. Well, maybe subtle isn't the way to go on this one because it kind of gets lost. Now, it would be very easy to go ahead and finish this up add some of this beautiful Secret C ribbon, maybe tie a little bow. Whereas the last time I tied it around there, it's usually easiest if you just tie your bow and then stick it on with a glue dot. But you know, I try to be different. So this ribbon, I think, really looks nice with the white. And I hadn't seen this done yet. I'm sure someone's done it because there are so many demonstrators online and making so many pretty things. But I did not know that I was going to like, and maybe the reason I didn't know I was going to like the Secret C with white was because maybe when that was happening, I couldn't even really see the blueness of it because we were having cloudy days. And when it's sunny, I think the Secret C looks even better. But I did want to show you just a quick stamping of this. I think it looks like a Queen Anne's lace, so of course it would look great colored like the other one, you know, using green and then putting the white on later. But I just kind of wanted to show you stamping this on there and then heating it with the heat tool. So that was my thinking on this. Just inking it up really well. But I'm not going to press very hard because if I press hard, I might catch an edge where I've gotten this white on here. You can see I've got some white, or I might just create something a little bit messy if I press too hard. Try to push it down on there pretty well. Luckily, the way that it is shaped is very forgiving. You can see that its shape is really pretty. And possibly, even if I embossed it right, if I heat embossed it right now with clear, it would still be a lot whiter than it was the first time. But all I'm doing here is just getting this dry. If you don't dry the white crafting, it takes a while to dry. And you'll end up with it smearing sometimes or just making a little mess. So all I'm doing is just heating that up. One thing you can also do, you can just let it dry overnight, whichever. But I think you've suffered enough through listening to my heat gun. But there you can see doing the same thing here. It's an even brighter white. It pops so nicely. And then layering it on here and adding our bow. And then of course, you know, you remember I had the I had these guys out, these pastel dots. Oh, that's green. I couldn't see that last night. That is definitely green. But we have some beautiful Secret C that we could put either the same way I did last time where it's just like texture, or we could put them in certain places on the white. And I think that would make a cute look. So I apologize for forgetting that, and I hope that you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.